What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel if you're new. Anyway, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make those like TikTok ring things. I don't know how long ago these started, but a lot of people at my school are like obsessed over them, and I really don't understand why, but I mean, I guess they're pretty simple, honestly. So, yeah, I'm going to show you how to make them. So, you're either going to need some thin or thick wire. Most people make it with a thick, but I honestly think it's easier to make it with a thin. So I'm going to use the thin. You just have to have an extra step at the end when you're securing it together. And yeah, you're going to want a decently long piece. So I normally do it from about my fingers, like if I'm holding it, to my elbow. And then, there's normally a bit of slack at the end, but you kind of need that extra to, tie it off and secure it. So I'm just going to cut that. All right, and once you have your one piece cut, you're going to put your first bead on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the bead on one end of your string, your wire, your rope, whatever you are using. You put one end through, and then you're going to take your other end and stick it through the opposite way. So, it kind of looks like this. And now this next part is kind of important. You want to make sure that it's centered when you pull it down. So I like to pull the tips so the two tips of the string are aligned with each other, and then slide the bead down to the bottom. All right, so that part's pretty simple. And then it's kind of just a pattern once you go on from here. So now we're going to put one bead on each piece. So one bead on that side. Then we're going to stick one bead on this side. All right, and once you have a bead on each side, we're going to repeat the first step again. So we're going to put the bead through one side of the thread, and then the bead through the other side of the thread, wire, whatever. And then you're going to pull it. You can see that makes a little square design. And that is the same pattern that you can see on a completed ring. And now you're just going to kind of keep going with that pattern. You guys can pause the video, whatever. I'm just going to cut because I know nobody wants to watch this. This clearly isn't done yet, but don't forget, as you're going along, you should really check it with your ring size to, make sure you don't make it way too big or way too small. Like, as you can see, this isn't going to fit my finger yet, but it's getting close. So as you guys know that you're getting close to where it's going to be to fit you on whatever finger you want it on, you just gotta measure it with your finger. Measurement is a very important part of this task. Sorry for the kinda abrupt cutoff last time. I got a phone call and, I just had to edit that out. Anyway, now, once your ring is long enough to go around your finger, you want it to be able to touch on both ends. So as you can see, that fits just about perfectly. It's time to seal the ring. Now, this is quite a bit easier if you're using string or even thicker wire. Like, thinner wire is definitely the hardest to do it with. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to take one end of the thread or whatever and loop it through the first bead on the other side. Then you're going to do the same thing from the opposite side with your other piece of wire or string. And you're going to pull it tight. And now, if you're using string, you're going to be done after this next step. But for all of you not using string, you're going to, have another step. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take, depending on if you want your knot on the outside or inside, I feel like most people want that on the inside, you're going to loop one piece of string through your ring and then flip it over. And then you're going to just tie your knot and then pull the piece that you pulled through back through so you can center the knot in the middle. And you can pull it tight like that. And now if you're using string, just double knot it, triple knot it, secure it, you're done. Or, sorry about the weird cutoff again. These spam callers just won't stop calling. So, comment below the weirdest thing that a spam caller has ever told you about on the phone, or like the weirdest thing they've been calling you about. Anyway, like I said before, if you're using string, just tie it slice the ends off, you're done. Okay, if you're using thick wire, after you knot it, you can loop it around like once or twice, and then, you know, cut the ends off. But if you're like me and you use thin wire, then you're gonna have to use something. You can either just tie it really tight, but if you want extra security, you're gonna have to use something called a crimper. If you don't know what a crimper is, basically, you use these little metal beads and you squish them down, and it prevents stuff from moving. Now, using the crimp beads isn't exactly necessary, but if you want extra security, then, you know, those crimp beads work really well. But, like, as you can see, these things are tiny. Like, if you make a lot of this stuff, you're going to end up buying a lot of these things because they're super tiny and you lose them a lot. Okay, and see, like I said, that one's already trying to roll away. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pull one piece of your wire back through so they're both on the same side again. And then you're going to slide your crimp bead onto both pieces of wire from the same direction this time. So they're both on like that. And you're going to pull it down as tight as you can, pulling the side that you looped from the other side of your ring back over so you can, you know, really tighten this. Pulling it down as tight as we can. I know this is a bit of a hard process, but trust me, you're going to want it tight because, you know, if it's loose, then you're just going to have like some extra piece of slack that is just continually stabbing your finger constantly. But, you know, I wouldn't know about that. Okay, once you have it really tight, you're going to take your crimper. And if you already know how to use a crimper, you can just skip this step. But you're going to squish it with your crimper. You're going to squish it one way, then you're going to turn, and you're going to squish it from the other side. As long as it's squished nice and hard. Then I recommend checking to make sure that it's not going to slide, because if it'll slide, then you definitely need to crimp it some more, because you don't want this thing sliding off. Otherwise, it's not doing its job. Okay, and all you have to do is snip off the rest of your wire, you know, if you're using wire. Sorry, my wire cutters are really dull. Okay. And there you go. You have now made one of those TikTok rings. And you see, you can just put it on your finger, just like that. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. Make sure to recommend anything you want to see me do in any videos. I'm really open to doing just about anything. I'm honestly looking for cool content ideas. So, you know, I'll do a lot of stuff. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Bye.